So there's some new Jonathan Majors news that, hey, in my opinion, you go, bro. But before we get to that, I want to just quick recap and talk about a couple of things I've noticed about the entire Jonathan Majors situation. I mean, let's start with when the incident first happened. It was reported as Jonathan Majors was arrested for attacking some woman. And it was just like, it seems like it was just a random woman. That was the initial tone that was given. Then it came out, and I'm like, just some random woman. This doesn't even sound plausible. Oh, okay. Turns out he knows the woman, and they're investigating it and considering it a domestic situation. Okay. But almost immediately, his team is out there saying, hey, there's more information, there's evidence that supports that he did not do anything to this woman. He's not guilty. Cool. Next day, he's like arraigned. They immediately, like, not only is he arrested that day on Saturday, by Sunday, okay, charges being filed, he's being arraigned. And the interesting thing I want to point out with that was something I didn't even think of, because in the subsequent weeks, we've had the Jordan Neely murder. And I'm going to call it a murder, because if you sneak up behind a guy, put him in a chokehold for 15 minutes, like, that's a murder. But look at how much, not just time, but how much, like, Jordan Neely, Daniel Penny gets arrested for, Daniel Penny gets questioned and released on the scene after murdering Jordan Neely. Jonathan Majors is not released from the scene, is arrested, and is arraigned and charged the next day. And Alvin Bragg is going full speed ahead at trying to come after Jonathan Majors. And it just goes to show you that black faces in high places doesn't mean jack. Not a thing. But the way these two situations are handled are just monumentally different. And the only reason why Daniel Penny actually wound up getting charged, like, I'm surprised they didn't intentionally go to the grand jury with some, like, tossing a whole bunch of exculpatory information in there, because they're not required to. The prosecutor's not required to produce exculpatory information in front of the grand jury. I'm surprised they didn't do that, or maybe they tried to do that and the jury still came back with charges. Maybe that's what happened. But the fact that it took protests, it took people protesting through the streets, the president had to weigh in on it. Eric Adams was tap dancing around the issue, trying to act like everything was cool. Like, no, New York Penal Law 35.15 is pretty clear. New York Penal Law 3515 is pretty clear about what constitutes adequate, actually self-defense. But back to Jonathan Majors. The whole point is, but the interesting thing is that if you just look at how much speed has been applied to creating this narrative around the Jonathan Majors situation, where there's information being leaked to try to make him look more guilty. Oh, other people coming forward. What are they saying? Are you going on the record to tell us what's being said by other people? Are they saying, yeah, he did have a temper. Did he ever hit you? No, but yeah, he would get angry. He would get angry and slam the door when he leaves. Like, we have no idea what's being said. We have no idea in what capacity these other women are helping with the investigation. No idea. But this information was leaked to the media. And then you've got the agencies that are, oh, we're not going to work with him. A couple of his levels of talent, of representation, and their relationships with him, which seems like that's a Hollywood decision, almost as if Hollywood is trying to make him look worse than he is. Because once again, what we don't have is actual evidence of his guilt. That's what we don't have. We have a lot of speculation, a lot of innuendo from people. Oh yes, he was rude on the set, and he really thinks highly of himself. Wow. What is he? A Yale educated thespian thinks highly of himself. Like, is this, like, what is this? Like, but then and then you've got I don't even know, I guess you could call them the sisterhood. They're trying to push this narrative as, oh, he's defending abusers. We have no idea that this man is an abuser. We have no, and the evidence seems to suggest that he is an abuser. But because the whole point is, wait, you're saying he beat up his girlfriend because she was mad that he was texting other women. That's why he beat up her, as opposed to his story that she attacked him because he was texting other women. Like, if you just think about this for a second, you start to realize that the narrative that's being pushed by people that don't like black men is pretty obvious. It's a pretty glaring agenda being pushed, and it's very low on evidence and facts. It's based on oh, well, look, they stopped working with him and they stopped working with him. That means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. I do think I do have some very extreme criticisms for his attorneys, because they've done some real really allowing him to support the restraining order. Like, he should say, no, we don't support a restraining order against him. We are going to file for a restraining order against her. That's what should have been done. That's in terms of public perception. Like, no, we don't support it because it creates the inference that he was the aggressor. And so for public perception, this matters a great deal with somebody as high profile as Jonathan Majors, whose career is at stake, and say, no, we don't support that, but we will support him filing a restraining order against her. That's what I think should have happened. And yeah, I mean, the way this is operated up until now is like clearly seems to me to be on some witch hunt nonsense. But once again, you've got Alvin Bragg, blackface, who's pushing real hard and trying to make this happen. It's like, why? Why is that? And when the accusations come out with how these cops were treating him, it's like, this is some real nonsense. But there is some good news, because people have criticized him. Like, why are you dealing with these white boys? And this chick, they say, oh yeah, she was on, she was in Ant-Man Quantumania. And I'm like, I looked at the cast list, I found out who she is, and I'm like, where was she in this movie? Like, was she an extra? Because I'm not seeing her anywhere in the listed cast. Like, where was this chick in the movie? So he's dating an extra? Like, what, dude? And O'Shea Drew Jackson brought out especially if you're dealing with somebody who has nothing to lose, or even more so, everything to gain by trying to malign you and slander you. Somebody who's not on the map in the slightest, but gets to drag your name through the mud to build themselves up. And I don't know if that's what's happening, but the potential for that means somebody at his level of success needs to move much more carefully. That's why this new news that has come out today, I'm like, you go, bro. Because the reports are that he is now dating Meagan Good. On several levels, I'm proud of you. Like, on several levels, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And I don't know how long this relationship is going to last. I don't know if they're serious, if they're just casual. But if it is a serious thing, if they do get serious about each other, operating as a power couple, we've seen it do so much for so many careers. He's already potentially right there. She is ready to, like, this could be a good thing for both of them career-wise. It could be a good thing for both of them relationship-wise. And if they're dealing with people that actually, like you and that aren't just trying to exploit you, I think that's definitely a good thing. Of course, some people will have criticisms for Meagan Good, but that's not what we're here for right now. Right now, we're here for a bright spot in Jonathan Majors' news, and we hope to see some more bright spots in his news with this whole situation put behind him, with him being completely exonerated, with more information coming out about what Alvin Bragg and the NYPD are really up to, because they're on some bullshit. Just without a doubt, you can see the way this is operated. It's like, really? The way you're operating with this situation versus a man getting choked out with the original stories of somebody sneaking up behind him and choking him for 15 minutes. This just shows a completely, like, two completely different justice systems, and it should open so many people's eyes. But I'm happy for Jonathan Majors, Meagan Good. I hope they enjoy each other, and have a successful relationship with each other. And hey, like I said, news preliminary, but let's see where this goes. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.